Hey everyone, how's it going? Let's talk about Tesla. Let's talk about Palantir. As I had a nice one of you leave me a comment and ask me, what do I think about the Mag 7? I got to think about the Mags. I was like, I don't really think about them in particular, but there are ones obviously that I'm a little obsessed with, and I thought this would be a great time. It's weird because I was already making out this video and what I thought I wanted to talk about and trying to get my own thoughts down here. But when talking about the Mag 7, I definitely think the Mag 7 exists for a reason. I mean, these things make the world spin. But the ones that I'm obsessed with, obviously, Tesla is number one. That is like my GOAT. That is the one that I think Tesla will rule the world and space here in the future, probably long after I'm gone off this world, but it will do wonders. Continue. But obviously Meta and Amazon, those are two companies that are very focusing on data centers, robotics, things like that, and just pushing into AI and spending a lot of money. Nvidia is on the path where it's at, and it's going to continue to do well. Google, Microsoft, Apple, what do we want to say here? I mean, they're large and in charge, but the ones that I'm particularly excited about when it comes to technology advancement, where they're going, it's probably, Tesla, Meta, Amazon. That's really, those are the ones I'm really interested in, and that I think that still probably even at this point in the game, probably have a lot of meat left on the bone of where they could go. I think they all do in general, but those are ones that, if someone was like, where would you start placing, funds? It would be one of those more than likely. And obviously, I mean, and if you listen to me talk in this video, you're going to know why I'm so obsessed with Tesla. So with that, friends, I'm glad you're here. Let's dig into it. Let's dig into Palantir. Let's dig into Tesla. I think these undoubtedly are going to be amazing stocks to hold into 2026, even at this point where they're at. Tesla's already had two, and let's go right into Tesla. Tesla's already had two stock splits here in the past 4 or 5 years, not even that, around that. So with that, I think that we could be on the cuff, and a lot of this obviously depends on what does the stock market look like in 2026? What are we talking about here? Have we had a bubble pop of this AI bubble that everyone keeps talking about? But is there a bubble in the bubble where the first layer gets popped, but the outer bubble is still going with these AI stocks controlling and dominating the market in the all-out theme of what everything is here? Now, obviously, with that, there's a lot of arguing that, well, they're just spending money, they're just cycling money through each other. Well, yeah, but there's still a lot of them too that are getting money just from the general mom and pop, businesses that need what they have. There's a lot of that conversation, but talking about Tesla in general. Tesla, I think, obviously is dominating going into a $500 position. And like I said, a lot of this depends on when the market decides to come back up here. I mean, there's still a lot of analysts saying that they believe the S&P is going to easily clean out, over 7,000 point range by the end of the year. Okay, well, if that's happening, we are definitely going to see another super cycle here within the next 30, 40 days. So that's pretty exciting. But obviously, we'll see what happens here. Big key factors of why I possibly think that we could see another stock split with Tesla alone here in the next year or two, 2026, 2027. Breaking that down, Tesla is about to shift into another price position here. If you have been with Tesla even before the first stock split happened here, just a short time, it feels like yesterday. I remember when it happened. Everyone was like, oh my God, here we go. First stock split, Tesla, let's go. When Tesla announced that, it was already a hefty stock price, but then on top of that, of course, stocks do what stocks do. When a stock split gets announced, they start running. They start running, baby, because people start dumping money into them because they're trying to get as much as they can because before the stock split right then and there. Tesla, let's just say by somewhere February, March, it's at 500. Maybe it's over 500, okay? More than likely, the stock is going to continue to push off that because once a stock gets so expensive, then the whispers start happening about a stock split, okay? Tesla's had two stock splits. They just had one just a short time ago, a few little short years ago, okay? Barely that. What are we looking at in 2026 for Tesla, okay? obviously Elon is staying on board here. He just got the price approval. He just got his money. Okay, great. What we're looking at right now in 2026 so far that realistically is coming to market here, that is happening, obviously is robo-taxi. Okay, that looks like it's happening. We're talking about next phase, robotics, Optimus coming to market. Next thing on top of that, Elon recently, this is going around, he was on the Rogan podcast and he started talking about the Roadster and talking about what he would give us hint wise was that it is a highly advanced vehicle, and he talked about floating, whatever this means. We don't know what this means. So this next generation of vehicle that Elon is talking about, is this a Back to the Future vehicle? Is this the DeLorean where we're talking about? I don't know. We don't know. He wouldn't give too much away, but essentially that this car does something that no other car does. What does it do? We don't know. So that right there would do what Tesla has done for over a decade now, set themselves apart from the overall market and competition out there. That's exciting. That's really exciting because that makes, that drives in more price, that drives in more investors. Okay, great. Okay, so next thing with that, recently here this week, Elon started talking about chips, and he did that thing that Elon does. He did it right there on stage, where he started to talk about chips. He said, we don't have enough chips. There's just not enough donuts here. And then he went into, well, actually, Tesla, we're going to start manufacturing chips. We need to do this. We need to make, plants for this. So now, and this is something that Elon has already been talking about, but he's really ramping this up now, that there's just not enough chips. So now you have Tesla is wrapped up in so many heavy price action compartments of business, robotics, robotaxi, vehicles, vehicles that drive themselves to where people can buy them, and what robotaxi is going to allow them to do with that. Now chips and other little segments that Tesla does too, but we're talking about big money making elements that bring massive amounts of attention with investors. Okay, so you have these potential money making platforms where they're all going into one stock, Tesla. Okay, this is huge. This is why a lot of people think that Tesla has, the number one, to get to the number one position of the most dominant company in the history of mankind. Okay, I really think this is a real possibility. This sounds far-fetched, I get, for people that, and I'm not trying to talk politics or anything, for God's sakes. I am in here as an investor, as someone who's looking at this and going like, this is crazy. It almost seems like it's not even fair to invest in. Does that make sense? Because you're talking about, you can invest in one company that is controlling this huge narrative of the world population, these ecosystems of that, other businesses are not able to get into. You have other businesses that are doing these things, but it's just that. Yeah, there's other humanoid robotic companies, but they're just doing that. Well, Tesla's doing this to where they all work together. He has Optimus. Okay, Optimus is coming to market next year. Now he's talking about chips. Well, what about NVIDIA? I'll just invest in NVIDIA. AMD, Intel. Okay, well, Tesla's here, and now they're talking about that. Will they disrupt the chip market in the, later future? Obviously, there's a market that is being, that is buying the chips from NVIDIA, AMD right now. But, how aggressive does the chip market get disrupted by Tesla in the future? So that's a very good question. Robotaxi, what does that look like? How much money are we talking? This is why when you hear Kathy Woods talk about Tesla, I mean, you think I am pumping up Tesla right now. Kathy Woods will go on and on about what she thinks we're looking at here with Tesla. I mean, she's got insane price points on. I think Kathy, last time she talked about it publicly, she had like, I think she had like $3,500 price point on the share. I think that's what she had. It was insane. But she gives a lot better detailed background of why she's saying this. And, I'm just trying to give bullet points right now for, the general person out here. But there is another part of Tesla that is being unraveled here that many people may not can understand, like they can't see it. But if you're seeing the outer edges of what is popping up here from the sand, this is what we're looking at here with Tesla. This is something that we have not seen with any company in the human existence, with the stock market, with companies in general, where you have a company who is already in this Mag 7, very dominant company, doing very well, whatever anybody wants to tell you, that is about to be in control of so many heavy price point markets right now. It is very, very exciting. So I look at Tesla, and when, if somebody's going $500 a share, don't you think that's a little rich? I think that's probably cheap compared to what we could be looking at this time next year. I'm not expecting Optimus or Robotaxi to come to the general market and just, work like butter. There's going to be hiccups. There's going to be things they have to work on, obviously. But just like Tesla vehicles, when it finally started to work, it started to work. This is a very real situation that has not taken, hasn't fully blown up yet, to where people, even at these price points, you're going to do well off of them. That's what's very exciting right now. So, if you're willing to hop in, buckle up, this could really do well for people. Imagine even buying as, $20, $30, $100, whatever you can a month of Tesla right now. And let's say by this time next year or 2027, Tesla does another stock split. Maybe they do like a 10-to-1 stock split. Okay, let's really push this narrative. Maybe they do the next stock split is really big. They're like, we're going to do a 10-to-1 stock split. We've really got to get this price down. Okay. Then you hold Tesla for another 2 to 3 years, and Tesla is in this whole new generational wealth of places where companies have never brought in money. Robotics, Robotaxi. You have to understand, just Robotaxi alone, they make the cars. They allow people to buy their cars and use the cars to make money. It's such a infrastructure of money that Tesla will be in charge of alone, okay? You really got it. You got to see what we're looking at here. This is a moment right now for investors. You either see it or you don't. And I get it's expensive right now. It is very expensive. It is expensive for a reason. But this is still a path right now to where people can really do well off this if you're willing to go along on this ride. So yeah, I am not pushing against or betting against Elon right now. That it's a bad bet. It really is. I think he's proven more than not that he's going to make something happen. It may take him a minute. It may take a minute for the donuts to get made here, but it's usually going to happen, and it's going to be bigger than what we thought. So, friends, when talking about Tesla, that is my mental space where I'm at right now with it. This is why I really am excited about Tesla. I think it's insane to sell the stock right now. It is absolutely insane, because I think there is this chapter that we are going into with Tesla that no one understands, like how serious this chapter is going to be with them. This is a chapter where people have already done very well off of Tesla. They have done very well. 2 stock splits already in such a short time, but there's a third on the way, more than likely. There is a third because of Robotaxi, because of Optimus, because of the new generation of vehicles that are going to release. It's coming regardless. I mean, it's going to be here. This is a key moment in time. This is a key moment in time right now. I cannot stress that enough of what we're looking at right now with this company. This is a key moment. That's all I can say about it. Yeah. Palantir. Okay, so I've talked a lot about Palantir, but Palantir is literally, there's stocks that I'm obsessed with. There's no doubt about it. Okay. Tesla, I'm obviously, where I'm at with it mentally. Okay. Palantir is another company that I am not going to go into this bear conversation with it. I'm not going to be one of these people who go, you don't need to buy it. It's way too expensive. I know it's expensive. It's been expensive. This is nothing new. But until this company starts to show some sort of pullback, I'm not going to believe that it's going to keep selling off. I'm not. Even with the market selling off on Friday dramatically before noon, and then after that, a floodgate of cash poured back into the market to close out Friday, Palantir swung right back up in the 180 zone, okay? There's high manipulation in the stock. There's high favoritism in the stock. These people that are telling you it's too expensive, don't kid yourself. They're buying it. Don't let people lie to you. Don't let people manipulate you into believing that Palantir is not going to work. Until we start to see some of this, fall apart with them, I can't believe that. I do believe that they are headed for this $1 trillion market cap, maybe $2 trillion market cap within the next 5-10 years. Who knows? I think it's a little dangerous to go against the grain with Palantir right now. And I understand, like I said, it's extremely expensive. Until this company starts to show lack of what it's doing, the bulls are going to keep pushing it. The bulls are going to keep pushing. We've seen this kind of stuff happen with other stocks. I mean, I don't know if anybody has been watching what's happened to Oracle the last 3-4 years. What's happened to Nvidia? I mean, even Tesla for a conversation or two, throwing that argument. Yes, it is expensive. Yes, they need to start making $2 billion quarterlies real soon just to even get halfway caught up to what the price is. I get this conversation, mathematically speaking, when people really break this down and show you on a blackboard. I get that. Right now, there's a lot of different things that what is the true valuation of Palantir? It goes into a lot of different things. It goes into popularity. It goes into hype. It goes into, people don't want to miss the boat. Well, people, that bought it at 160 here just Thursday, Friday morning, they're in profit range right now. If they bought in fresh, if they bought down in position, maybe where they're at. So already it's getting the juices flowing with a lot of people and going like, man, this is awesome. Maybe it'll go to 190. 190 people buying, man, it's already been at 200. Maybe it'll go back to 200. Goes back to 200. People buying at 200. Man, maybe it'll go back to 215 when it did that, before the quarterly. People buy it at 250. This is the conversation we keep seeing with Palantir, and this is why it keeps driving up, aggressively. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen to the market. That's the safe thing we can all say. Whether this is the first collapse of an AI bubble, whatever this means, and there's a lot of negative news out there. Don't get it wrong. The United States economy, everything, jobs, it's a mess. Government shutdown, tariffs. There's a lot of different things out there that there's more excuses for this market to crash than there is for it to continue to work. That is a true statement that I think a lot of us would agree on. There's things that may just continue to happen. The market may use the excuse that, hey, we just had all these great quarterlies. Let's get things going here. What's going to happen Wednesday with Trump in this Supreme Court situation? That's yet to be seen. We'll see how much the market truly cares about that. With that, more than likely, with this terrible job situation going on right now, people are going to need loans. They're going to need money. We're going to see another rate cut here in December. Jerome Powell, don't forget about this. Jerome Powell is done in May. He's done next year, okay? Somewhere in the beginning of next year. Trump's going to put someone in there that he is going to control like a puppet. They're going to do more rate cuts, more than likely, okay? That's not all going to save the market 100%, but we're going to have more than likely more burst in the market with a lot of stocks. And every time you have these burst in the market, we see new price action with a lot of stocks, Palantir being one of them. I think Palantir is going to be a growth stock, a highly manipulated stock, a very swing traded stock, a day trading stock, a very anticipated into the future stock. There's a lot of different sectors with Palantir right now that are going to keep the flow, the pulse very moving fast right now. But when we break it all down too, yeah, It's a great company that's doing amazing things for business where it's achieving that. There's no doubt about that. They have a CEO with a very loud mouth, very boisterous, who I wish there were more companies that had this. Okay, I think it's so great when a company has a loudmouth CEO, and I mean that for all the right reasons. Alex has given a lot of interviews here lately, and I've watched them all because I'm obsessed with the whole shebang over there. I'm trying to see what's going on, what is the mindset, what are they thinking, what are they doing. I get it that people don't like it. They're uneasy with the price point right now. What's going on in the market? I get it. I get it all. It all makes sense. Palantir is not something that I would say you need to get rid of it. There are way too many points right now, a positive pointing right now with them in the future of where they're going. We could be in a situation where Palantir is really just getting started. They are getting really good deals right now. They've been getting good deals, but we're seeing where they're just getting. And this is the circle conversation. This is where people go like, well, it's just a circulation of AI stocks pouring into AI stocks. Well, okay. Well, if you're buying into Palantir right now, and then you have, if there is this circulation and we have AI stocks working with Palantir, well, Palantir is still getting that money, and it's still it's a broken proven point, but still at the end of the day, Palantir is getting money. They're getting money from other companies, and it's driving up revenue. So all in all, the bears still cannot say much. What do we do here? What do we do here? I'm excited about these two companies, 100%. I mean, I really am. I really am. I don't know what else to say other than that I think these two companies are going to be very dominant companies for different reasons into the future. And I don't think anyone should get rid of these right now. I really don't. There's just too much on the line for what's coming. Friends, I want to wish all of you the best of luck. I really do mean that. I hope that kind of helps someone out there if you're really like, I don't know what to do with these two. They're very expensive. I get it. Take care of yourself, friends. Bye-bye.